It's KFI AM 640, and you're listening to The Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. Continue talking about Turning Point's Charlie Kirk, who was shot and killed today. He was on his very first stop of a national tour of campuses where he was going to speak. The next stop was going to be at Colorado State University. And that would have been a week from today. Today he was at Utah Valley University with the Prove Me Wrong table in Utah. And then on September 18th, a week from tomorrow, he would have been at Colorado State University in Fort Collins. And then after that, it was off to Minnesota, and then University of Minnesota, Virginia Tech. After that, they had the whole tour plan. Utah State University, Montana State, Indiana University, Louisiana State, and then Baton Rouge, Louisiana at River Center Theater, Ole Miss in Mississippi there. And all those tour dates have now been canceled because somebody assassinated Charlie Kirk. And again, if you're just tuning in, it happened earlier today. And American conservative activist Charlie Kirk, he was fatally shot on stage at Utah Valley University in Utah. And he was speaking at an open-air campus event. It was the first stop, as I said, on the campaign that they had planned. Turning Point USA had a bunch of these things lined up, a bunch of these speeches. And Kirk's killing came at a time where the deepening division, increasingly frequent violence in American political life is, I don't know if it's here to stay, but I don't see it ending anytime soon. I mean, we had the attack on Paul Pelosi. That was back in 2022, I believe. And then the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, two of those, one in Pennsylvania where they shot him in the ear, and then one in Florida where they caught the guy before he got any shots off. And then we also had the killing of the UnitedHealthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, in December of last year. And then remember the arson event that happened in Pennsylvania. The governor's residence was torched. That was back in April of this year. And then the shooting in Minnesota, where the two legislators were shot in June. But this is a very sad day for a lot of Americans. If you're a big fan of Charlie Kirk, this is not going to be easy anytime soon. Here is an update on the press conference that was held earlier, and we'll play some of this. And I know it seems repetitive, but there's not a lot of new facts coming out. So we'd like to catch all of you up on what you may have missed while you're picking up the kids or, coming home from work or going to work or going to the grocery store, whatever you're doing. If you missed any of this information, we'll play this again for you here.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bo Mason, Commissioner for the Utah Department of Public Safety. Today at approximately 12:20 Mountain Standard Time, political influencer Charlie Kirk was shot in an event at the Utah Valley University. He was taken by private vehicle to Timpanogos Hospital, where he later passed. The Utah Department of Public Safety will be co-leading this criminal investigation to find this killer, along with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're working in unison with the County Sheriff's Office, the local police department, and the University Police Department, all of which have been very cooperative and fully engaged in this process. Shortly after the shooting, we did have a suspect in custody, George Zinn, but he was released from custody after we identified that he did not match the shooting suspect and was not an accurate person of interest. However, he has been booked into the county jail by Utah Valley University Police Department for obstruction of justice. We do still have an active investigation for the person of interest. This incident occurred with a large crowd around. There was one shot fired, and one victim. While the suspect is at large, we believe this was a targeted attack towards one individual. This is a tragic moment in our state and in our country. As we heal, we encourage everyone who is struggling with news of the incident to call 988, our state mental health crisis line. In addition to that, our partners with the FBI will also be discussing other ways we can communicate through the public for tips and other information. Thank you.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the FBI, we extend our sincerest condolences to the family and friends of Charlie Kirk. Our thoughts are also with the people who witnessed this traumatic event. We know that what you experienced was very difficult. Our thoughts are with you as well. As soon as we heard about the shooting, special agents and personnel from the Salt Lake field office responded immediately. We have full resources devoted to this investigation, including tactical, operational, investigative, and intelligence. To be clear, the FBI will fully support and co-lead this investigation alongside with our partners. We are working on setting up a digital media tip line, and as soon as it's established, we'll get that information out to everyone. I know there's a lot of questions. This is very much an active case, and this investigation is in its early stages. We are following all the leads and all the evidence. If anyone has any information, please report it to the FBI or local law enforcement. Thank you.
All right, we'll continue with this when we come back. Charlie Kirk shot and killed today in Utah. This is the press conference that happened earlier, but we wanted to catch up and make sure you have all the information on this. Very sad day in America. Very sad day.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
Let's pick up that press conference where we left off. And this is in Utah. It's Utah officials hold the press conference that we just heard from one of the local FBI directors there. And there are a couple more people that are going to speak on the pursuit of the guy or guys or gal or gals who shot and killed Charlie Kirk earlier today. Really horrible, horrible situation.
On behalf of President Tuminez, who we've been communicating with, and she's on her way back right now, I say that on behalf of Utah Valley University, we are shocked and saddened by the tragic passing of Charlie Kirk. We express our sincere condolences to the Kirk family. We grieve with our students, faculty, and staff who bore witness to this unspeakable tragedy. He was invited by the student group Turning Point USA to speak on our campus. We firmly believe that UVU is a place to share ideas and to debate openly and respectfully. Any attempt to infringe on those rights has no place here. We do not condone any form of violence at UVU and seek to make our campus a safe place for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this dark and tragic occasion. I want to thank our law enforcement officers who are leading this investigation, starting with Chief Long and his response here with the UVU Police Department. We're grateful for your leadership and your team. And again, to the speakers that you've just heard from who are co-leading this investigation. I also want to recognize Sheriff Mike Smith, who has been an invaluable partner as this investigation moves forward. I've been in touch with President Trump, with FBI Director Kash Patel. We are completely aligned with our state and federal partners as we work through this case. Now, this is a dark day for our state. It's a tragic day for our nation. And I want to be very clear that this is a political assassination. We are celebrating 250 years of the founding of this great nation. That founding document, the Declaration of Independence, that this great experiment on which we embarked together 250 years ago, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. The first one of those is life. And today, a life was taken. Charlie Kirk was first and foremost a husband and a dad to two young children. He was also very much politically involved, and that's why he was here on campus. Charlie believed in the power of free speech and debate to shape ideas and to persuade people. Historically, our university campuses in this nation and here in the state of Utah have been the place where truth and ideas are formulated and debated. And that's what he does. He comes on college campuses and he debates. That is foundational to the formation of our country, to our most basic constitutional rights. And when someone takes the life of a person because of their ideas or their ideals, then that very constitutional foundation is threatened. Now, we have a person of interest in custody. The investigation is ongoing. But I want to make it crystal clear right now, to whoever did this, we will find you. We will try you. And we will hold you accountable to the furthest extent of the law. And I just want to remind people that we still have the death penalty here in the state of Utah. Our nation is broken. We've had political assassinations recently in Minnesota. We had an attempted assassination on the governor of Pennsylvania. And we had an attempted assassination on a presidential candidate and former president of the United States, and now current president of the United States. Nothing I say can unite us as a country. Nothing I can say right now can fix what is broken. Nothing I can say can bring back Charlie Kirk. Our hearts are broken. We mourn with his wife, his children, his family, his friends. We mourn as a nation. If anyone in the sound of my voice celebrated even a little bit at the news of this shooting, I would beg you to look in the mirror and to see if you can find a better angel in there somewhere. I don't care what his politics are. I care that he was an American. We desperately need our country. We desperately need leaders in our country. But more than the leaders, we just need every single person in this country to think about where we are and where we want to be. To ask ourselves, is this it? Is this what 250 years has wrought on us? I pray that that's not the case. I pray that those who hated what Charlie Kirk stood for will put down their social media and their pens and pray for his family, and that all of us will try to find a way to stop hating our fellow Americans. With that, we're happy to take a few questions.
That is a great speech. It's the governor of Utah, Governor Cox, and I don't think anybody could have done that better. And we needed those comments now more than ever. That was great. Might replay that again before the end of the show. Governor, he's 50 years old. Governor Spencer Cox of Utah. That was perfect. All right, we have more information. The guy that they arrested earlier they've released him. He's no longer a suspect. And then they arrested him again for obstruction. So that's most likely not the guy that did it. But if we have, as soon as we do have the guy's name and they do catch him, you'll hear it first, or you'll hear it immediately right here on KFI.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
We're still mourning the loss of Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA. He was shot and killed in Utah. Here, a side note, if you're going out to see Ben Shapiro tonight at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library, that's been canceled or postponed. So I would call the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library and see if indeed that is going on, has been postponed, has been delayed. But I know a lot of people to see Ben Shapiro would drive 4, 5, 6 hours, maybe from Bakersfield or Fresno, Vegas, Arizona. And you want to make sure that indeed is been canceled or rescheduled or postponed or whatever. So I'd look that up before you make that drive. Here is an update here. The Trump administration stunned at the death of Charlie Kirk. I think everybody was. I think everybody who knew him was shocked to their core that this happened. It'll be one of those things where you remember where you were when you heard the news. When the Challenger blew up, you remember that. Where you were when 9/11 happened. And I think this is in the same category for conservatives. I know it is. And you'll remember who told you where you were for a long time. Long time. Awful long time. All right, here's some more reaction from the Trump administration on the assassination, the murder of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, well, we are digesting the news the same as you. The confirmation from the president that Charlie Kirk has passed away, really just putting a finer point on the concern and worry that had been sort of settling in here at the White House for the last hour or so before this news came out. I went upstairs to the press area to see if we would be getting any updates from officials after we'd been told earlier that the Secret Service, that the Situation Room and the National Security Advisor were monitoring the situation, and then got a lot of silence from there, and the worry sort of began to creep in. We've been told by the Secret Service that they are not able to give us an update on any security posture changes that might be happening for the president in light of this act of political violence. Obviously, a concern for everyone here who are going to go home tonight thinking about this, their friend who has lost his life as a result of the political violence in this country. That was the message that Charlie Kirk shared on his last post on X to that effect, that you have to talk about those things in political terms or else it's not going to change. That was his message. And I think that in the coming days we'll be doing some reflecting on that. As far as any information on what we might be seeing tonight in terms of flags coming down or any other displays, we'll certainly keep you updated on that. But this is just developing news. And I'll also note that, the mention from President Trump of Charlie no longer being with us, calling him a legend and someone who's dear and admired by him and everybody else is notable. President Trump had 2 attempts on his life. And so that is something I'm sure hits very close to him as well. We will continue to bring you any more information, but the outpourings of just sadness and sympathy and also outrage that this could happen, we're seeing that come in real time.
All right, and here's some more reaction from politicians and what they put out on social media.
We're now getting a lot of reaction on X from politicians on both sides of the aisle. From Senate Majority Leader John Thune, for instance, quote, "There is no place in our country for political violence, period, full stop. please join me in praying for Charlie Kirk. From House Speaker Johnson, please join us in praying for our good friend, Charlie Kirk. From Steve Scalise, please join me in praying for Charlie Kirk after this senseless act. DNC Chair Ken Martin writes, I'm horrified by the news coming out of Utah about the attack on Charlie Kirk. Political violence has no place in our country, not now and not ever. Praying for him and his family. Here in California, Governor Gavin Newsom saying, quote, the attack on Charlie Kirk is disgusting, vile, and reprehensible. In the United States of America, we must reject political violence in every form. And from former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, quote, the horrific shooting today at Utah Valley University is reprehensible. Political violence has absolutely no place in our nation. All Americans should pray for Charlie Kirk's recovery and hold the entire UVU community in our hearts as they endure the trauma of this gun violence. And from former Vice President Kamala Harris, quote, I am deeply disturbed by the shooting in Utah. Doug and I send our prayers to Charlie Kirk and his family. Let me be clear, political violence has no place in America. I condemn this act, and we all must work together to ensure this does not lead to more violence.
And a lot of these social media were posted before it was confirmed that Charlie Kirk had been killed. And so that's when on the previous one, I think it was from Nancy Pelosi, said we're praying for his recovery and his family. That was before the news came out that he had passed away. All right, when we come back, we have some audio here of Charlie Kirk at the Republican National Convention, and it's about 5 minutes long. So we'll play that when we come back. It's a good speech. If you're conservative, I think you'll love it. If you're a moderate, you'll like it. And if you're a Democrat, you'll probably shut the radio off. So there you go. All three are up to you.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
Charlie Kirk was murdered today in Utah, and the Utah Governor Cox had a great speech. We'll play that before the end of the program. And Charlie Kirk also gave a great speech at the 2024 Republican National Convention. And we'll see if we can squeeze that in.
Good evening. I'm Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA and Turning Point Action. Together, the largest conservative grassroots organizations in the country. Thanks to our work, I talk to a lot of young people on campuses, at our events, on my radio show, podcast, and social media. Said differently, I visit college campuses so you don't have to. I hear a lot from young people about their hopes, their dreams, and their fears. You see, young people are idealists. They respond to vision. For the past 4 years, they've seen the vision of the Biden-Harris regime. That vision is, you'll own nothing and be happy. The Democrats say, instead of owning a home, you'll rent a 400-square-foot studio apartment. Instead of owning a car, you'll rent a scooter using some app. Their vision is this: limit your dreams, give up, aim lower, be content with less. If you're a 20-something in America, life has been really tough. You've watched home prices rise 47% since 2020, 47%. Home ownership is now out of reach unless you make over $106,000 a year. Since I last spoke at the Republican convention 4 years ago, I've become a husband and father. In fact, we have 2 under 2. I think I get extra points for that. For millions of people my age, that is a dream that feels farther away than ever under the Biden-Harris administration. According to current projections, 1/3 of today's young Americans will never get married. The average American is having fewer children than ever before. Why? It's because for far too many, they simply can't afford them. The basic things our parents enjoyed are increasingly out of reach for Gen Z and millennials. You see, the American dream has become a luxury item for the wealthy elite. Happy countries have children. Broken countries have addiction, depression, and suffering. Democrats have given hundreds of billions of dollars to illegals and foreign nations, while Gen Z has to pinch pennies just so that they can never own a home, never marry, and work until they die, childless. Under Biden, our young people own nothing and they are miserable. Donald Trump refuses to accept this fake, pathetic, mutilated version of the American dream. When he was president, young people were richer than ever before, and he will do it again. Donald Trump is on a rescue mission to revive your birthright. One your grandparents and those before them gave everything to hand down to you. And listen carefully, everybody. This is why young men are the most conservative that they have been in 50 years. To all the Gen Zers watching this convention on TikTok right now, I have a message just for you. You don't have to stay poor. You don't have to accept being worse off than your parents. You don't have to feel aimless and unhappy. You don't have to support leaders who lied to you and took advantage of you for your vote. America's future is a series of choices. Our current state of slow motion national decline is a choice. This November, we're going to choose success. We're going to choose to put the future of Americans first. We are going to choose to no longer be spectators this election. We together are going to do the work to save America. We are going to choose to work harder than ever before, to chase ballots, to vote early, to register new voters. And all of us together, working harder than ever, we will fire the Biden-Harris regime and put Donald Trump back in the White House where he belongs. God bless you guys. Thank you so much.
All right, and that's the kind of speech that got him killed. And the person who shot him was radically against almost everything he said there. And instead of debating him, they decided to shoot him in the neck and kill him. Unbelievable. All right, we'll come back. We have more news. We've got news coming out of North Hills. There was an LAPD shooting. We'll get into that. And any more updates on Charlie Kirk, we'll have that as well. We're live on KFI AM 640.
Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. Now, you can always hear us live on KFI AM 640, 4 to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and anytime on demand on the iHeartRadio app.